Here we go. Okay, I think we're live. We'll see. This is happening right now. Molly, how are you feeling today?
I was feeling okay till you said we were live.
Yeah, well, we're live now. See that little thing? It says we're live. We're live on Facebook.
Oh, hi. Good morning, live.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're here today to talk about love and sharing love as a mom, as a parent. And I found these cards, and I have kept them. There's even more letters from mom, and so we'll share some of these. But you know, it's a crazy time right now with this COVID-19 and just all this stuff. So I feel like it's now more than ever a good time to share love with your teen. And you were so good at giving me letters even when I was in high school. But tell everybody a little bit about what was going on in your life when I was in high school, junior year, senior year.
No, I don't like to talk about that. It wasn't the happiest time. I was going through a divorce. I mean, you know, bad marriage, wasn't bad all the way. But anyway, I was going through divorce and very difficult times. And Sin was always a cheerleader. Was always happy, always cheer, cheer, cheer. But unfortunately, by the time she graduated, it was, like I said, the divorce was finally final and things were tight and tough. And, you know, I was on my own with little munchkins. So not easy, but.
Even though your life was not perfect and not always happy, you were, I mean, I found letters. When I ran for ASB president, you wrote me a letter saying, it was this one, saying, good luck on your speech, call me when it's done. So where would you find these cards? Like, when did you have time for this?
Well, you know, I think sometimes we forget things that weren't real happy. So until Sin mentioned it yesterday about these letters, I kind of had forgotten about them, but then she reminded me. And I think because I was going through such a difficult time, and I don't remember ever getting encouragement from anybody. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, there was nobody there for me. And I would always say, you know, when my kids grow up, they're women like me, they're going to have issues. So I feel like at that time I was going through a bad time, and I wanted to share that with you and make sure that it was okay that we had feelings, because no one ever told me it was okay to feel bad or to feel sad or to feel lonely because your kids left. It was like, so I was going through a turmoil, and I think sometimes it's helpful because it helped me to be able to share my feelings with you, and hoping that you wouldn't be as sad as I was, because I was going through a very sad time. And I think sometimes we try to keep, you know, things from our kids so they don't feel bad, or, you know, so for whatever reasons we want to shield them. But I think at some point, you know, you need to share and say it's okay to feel like this, and, you know, we could share feelings. And I always just wanted to make sure that you were okay, and to just always encourage you to keep on trying and to keep on going. And
well, you did.
And you know,
look
don't
at this
stop.
card. So this card, by the way, is from 1989 or 88, somewhere around there. You can be whatever you want to be. Is inside you all the potential to be whatever you want to be, all the energy to do whatever you want to do, and it goes on. And if you're familiar with these cards, she would pick them up at the car wash, the local car wash.
Yes, when I saw them, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember this car wash had really awesome cards.
And then each card came with like its own personal letter. She would write like with her handwriting a letter. And this one says, just want to wish you all the luck in your speech today. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. Give it all you got. You know, you're going to make it because you're such a positive person. Blah, blah, blah. She goes on. I love you and I'm very proud of you. Call me when it's over. Love, Mom. It just gets me so choked up.
I know. When I saw them too, I'm like, wow, I had forgotten those times, but it's just important to share, you know, what you feel, what's going on. And, you know, so when your kids are going through the same thing, they know that it's okay. And not only that it's okay, but it's going to be all right. Just like we're going through some horrible times, very trying, testing times for all of us.
Right.
You know, and I know for a lot of seniors and a lot of graduates, not just, you know, high school seniors, but a lot of graduates, you know, are missed out on probably the happiest time of your life. I mean, there's certain milestones in your life. Graduation is one, marriage another, divorce, you know. There's milestones in your life that just can't be replaced, you know.
And so this is a hard time for a lot of people, but everybody has hard times in their life. That's even more personal. And you're sharing that you were going through divorce, and actually it was finalized when I was a freshman in college. The divorce was final. And then shortly after, my mom was working for a Security Pacific National Bank, if anyone remembers that bank with the big S. And it merged with Bank of America. And so what happened?
Yes. Again, like now we're having, you know, a lot of financial problems. And back in the day, all the banks were going under and different banks were buying each other. So, of course, Bank of America bought Security Bank. And so I had been with the bank for 26, going on 27 years. And when B of A bought us out, they basically got rid of, you know, management. And after 26 years, I was out of a job. So out of a job,
now,
horrible marriage, and three little munchkins looking like, okay, now what?
Yeah, there are three of us, three girls. Now, so one of the things that as an adult, I sort of came to understand or came to appreciate was that, you know, my mom was a single mom of three daughters, just sort of getting out from under her, you know, and she could have asked me to stay living at home and commute to college. She could have asked me to take a year off and go later. And so I love what you've said before, that sort of your philosophy is that college is an insurance policy for life. So share a little about that.
Yes. You know, people say, well, not everybody needs to go to college. Well, you know, I've made it. I haven't gone to college. I never said college is a guarantee for anything. It doesn't guarantee you, you know, the perfect job, doesn't guarantee you anything, but it definitely is like an insurance policy, you know, an insurance for life. Like nobody can take that education from you. And needless to say, you know, the higher your education you have, the better the job you have. So it's just an insurance policy for life that you have with you, and no one can ever take it from you. So no matter what happens to you in life, because you don't know, get the divorce, a death in the family, you know.
Yeah.
And what you said is, yes, I could have. I mean, my life was a disaster. And you know, you could have stayed home and helped support us, and, you know, do what a lot of families do and say, hey, you know what? You don't need to go to college. You can find a job. But that's what happened to me growing up. Nobody encouraged me to go to school. Nobody ever encouraged my dreams. Nobody ever said, yeah, that's great. You know, I had dreams, but nobody ever said it was okay to have them and go for them. And it's not fair. It's not fair. It wasn't fair for me to impose my life situation and my life choices on you, because you are now an adult and it's your life. It's your time to bloom and make your choices and mistakes, whatever.
I've made plenty of mistakes.
And no, you know, I had to figure it out. You have to figure it out. It's the biggest thing you've learned. Anything from me is you figure it out.
Now, let's back up a second and just tell, I mean, I know maybe some people have heard the story, but you didn't go to college. You weren't encouraged to go to college by your mom. You were admitted to college, to a four-year institution, and your mom didn't encourage you. So your whole thing was talking to your daughters about when you go to college, not if you go to college. But when the time really came, I was worried about money, and they were going through divorce. So I thought, well, I'll just go to the local, you know, college. And I had shied away from my dream of going to USC. And I think I finally shared that with my mom, and she was like, oh no, oh no, no, you didn't. So tell the story about Mr. Vargas and how we came to know him.
Well, as Sin said, I came from a very large family, and my mom was a great mom. She taught us very good values and very positive things that made me successful and know how to figure it out. But she was never one to encourage you to go to school. As a matter of fact, when I would talk about going to school, she'd say, "You don't need to go to school. All you're going to do is get married and have a bunch of kids." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess that's what people do." So, you plant a seed in a kid's head, and, instead of saying, "Hey, yeah, that's great. You want to be an airline stewardess?" But I never had that.
Dile in Spanish. Say how she used to say it to you in Spanish.
No, ¿para qué vas a ir al colegio? No vas a casar y tener raza. I'm like, oh, alrighty then. So, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm sure she didn't mean any harm by it, but it's engraved in your head instead of going for your dreams. And needless to say, I did go to airline stewardess training, and that was about it because, yes, I did get married and have a bunch of raza. So she was right. I got married, and it wasn't a very, successful marriage. So I had 3 daughters, beautiful daughters. And so I was determined that, no, I'm going to teach them that it's important, to go to school, not just because you're a woman and you're going to, just sit back and have children and die. No, sorry. I mean, you could have a life, you could have a dream, you can do anything you want to do. And so when my kids, were little, it wasn't like, if you go to college, one day, if you go to college, one day, if you go, no, it was always that when you go to college,
when you go,
this is happening.
It was an expectation.
It was just part of life.
I don't think I never even thought that it wasn't.
It's like vacuuming. It's a given.
It's about vacuuming.
Cleaning house is going to happen. No question.
She's still vacuuming.
So
okay. So when did you meet Mr. Vargas, or how did you know that you needed help to help your daughter get into college? How did you know that?
Well, because I worked as security being, and so I had a lot of influential friends and people, and I'd go to a lot of Kiwanis meeting back in the day.
Kiwanis,
anyway,
like Rotary and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Rotary. Yeah. And so you meet a lot of people. So the whole thing about this is you're supposed to talk, which wasn't a problem for me then. And so you chit chat to everybody around you. And one time that we were at a meeting, I met this gentleman, his name Mr. Vargas. And he sat at the table and he just said, he worked at USC and da-da-da. He told me what he did. We shared information. I told him I had a daughter. She was going to go to school soon, to college soon, because you were like junior, senior, whatever. And he said, okay, when you're ready, give me a call. Here's my card. I'm like, oh. So I liked the gentleman and everything. He was married, so I didn't really flirt with him. But he was a very nice gentleman, had a lot of information about school, was very positive that, my daughter would be able to go there. So as time went on, I just kept that little card in my pocket. And then, when Sin got older and she started talking about school and stuff, and
specifically about USC.
Specifically about USC. And I mean, I think I had forgotten about it all. And then.
So you called him and we went?
Yes, I called him, made an appointment.
Yeah.
And I cried all the way up there.
Do you remember anything that he shared with you, like in that meeting? It was just 3 of us, and he was, I remember vaguely him explaining to me what an application was and what I had to do and how to fill it out, even like literally. I mean, we didn't know anything. So do you remember that meeting at all?
I do vaguely, but again, I just remember he gave us, a lot of information for my little brain. And basically, I just knew we had to just fill it out. Just fill it out. Whatever, just answer the question. Yes, no, maybe so, yes. And so whatever paperwork he said we had to do, it was like, we'll figure it out.
He told you about financial aid and what to do. And I remember that financial aid stuff being like,
yes,
so
and that freaked me out
paper.
Because when he showed me the bottom dollar, I'm like, okay, never mind. You're going to come to college.
We're done.
But, he was very, very, very breath of fresh air. And he just was very encouraging. And I don't want to say guaranteed, but pretty much guaranteed, said, no, your daughter's going here. And so we just, I cried. I just cried.
I came and I shared with him my resume, like I told him sort of what my GPA was, and I was very involved in school. So he was very encouraging. I mean, he wasn't the admissions office, but he was very encouraging. Okay, so let's fast forward to I don't know, probably March or April of my senior year. I called you and I said the letter came. Do you remember that? Don't cry, Mom. Don't cry. Don't cry. Okay, so tell them what happened.
No, you tell them what happened.
Okay, so I just remember this is when letters came in the mail, sort of, big envelopes, like actual mail. And
no
I think I waited to open it until I got you on the phone or something. And I called you at work. She's working at the bank, and I started to read the letter, and said said congratulations, like welcome to the class of 1994. Anyway, whatever. And so you started screaming at the bank, and I was screaming in the house, and we were like running around or whatever. I don't know what was going on at the house. I mean, at your work.
Yeah. My job was always used to be me screaming every time something happened. It was like they didn't know if it was a scream of happy or a scream of something happened to one of the girls or what. But yes, it was very touching, and it just goes to show you it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. It doesn't matter if your mom never went to college, or matter of fact, didn't even speak English when I first started school. So I mean, who would ever thought that, me, this little girl that lived in Compton and went to elementary school and sat in the back row because I didn't speak English. So they just make you color all day. Todo el día colorando, colorando, So you never give up. You never give up, and you encourage your kids, and you tell them they could do whatever they want, and just encourage them that you're behind them 100%, no matter what they do. I mean, even if they don't go to college and they want to be whatever they want to be, a hairdresser, they want to be a rapper, whatever they want to do, as long as they're the best at it. Always encourage them and tell them you love them. And if that's what you want to do, I'm behind you. But never say no, or never be discouraged due to lack of funds or lack of ability to know who to go to or resources. Because wherever you are, you never know who's standing next to you, 6 feet apart, behind you. I mean, you're always waiting in line. So if you just chit chat, say, hi, my name is Lydia, blah, blah, blah. I'm a hairdresser if you ever need your hair done. Like, oh, then they give you your card, say, oh, I'm the governor. If you ever need something from me.
She's always networking, which is probably where I get it from. But, you and I were watching that show last night, the episode called The Color of COVID. And there are high mortality rates in the communities of color. And they were talking a little bit, Shaquille O'Neal, I remember him specifically saying, at the end of the day, this is about education. This is more than ever, do we need to really emphasize as much education in our communities, because that changes, the trajectory of, what about health and how to be, a healthy person inside and out, mentally, spiritually, physically. People with that have other issues, health issues, are dying at a higher rate. So I believe in college. I believe in going to college, but I also know that it's not for everybody. But I feel like now more than ever, there's this education gap that we have to find a way to close. And I think you're right that the parents, no matter their situation, I think your message is to encourage your kids to go as far as they can with education.
Yes, and don't be embarrassed that you don't speak the language, or you don't understand it completely, or you can't write it. There are so many resources today, way more than back when I was a kid. That wasn't too long ago. But there's so many resources for everything and anything. Like you say, we have to be more educated in terms of health and everything for everybody. But just ask. Just ask. And now you even have the computer where you can even say, where do I go to get help on applications, or how do I
We're
fill
here.
out this
Right here, Mom.
application? Or, and you can say it in any language. I mean, I'm no expert on this. Believe me, I went back to school when I was 58 years old, didn't know how to turn on a computer. But I do know that now I could go over here in that little search box and says, hola, how can I find
Yeah.
applications for college? And then they tell you.
Yeah. They tell you you can find anything. You can find anything. Now, and I have a parent academy. I have a number of things that basically all the things that Mr. Vargas told you and told me, I have like in a course that anyone can take. A parent can take their parent academy, and then there's, one for every age. So, okay, let's read one of these. Okay, so I know that obviously if you're a senior, you're not getting to have prom. This is something I feel for everybody, because everybody in America has two things in common. Everybody has experienced prom and high school graduation, if nothing else that we have in common. So this is what my mom gave to me on prom night.
Yes, it's dedicated to all those seniors that did not go to prom. But it's not the end of the world, believe me. It feels like it. It feels like it. But one day you'll look back and say, I'm glad I was safe and healthy and was with my family, and I could sneak out another day.
I did see on TV a dad and a mom put together a prom for their daughter, and she got dressed up and made up and wore her dress, and her dad was her date. So I don't know how she feels about that, but it was something.
Not the same.
Not the same. Okay, so it says, God bless you on your graduation. And she writes in prom night. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all ye that hope in the Lord. This is the inside. Okay, so I want to strongly encourage you to get a card or a letter sometime this week and write with your own handwriting. Write with your own handwriting, because I just love, this is my favorite part. I mean, the card is lovely. It says baby
because one
girl.
day you may not be able to write.
Yeah, like my mom. So sin, as you can say, I yell, scream, preach, and explain myself over and over. I'm reading this for the first time again, and end up letting you do what you want. Enjoy yourself tonight, all night long. Prom comes only once. And then she goes on and says, be smart.
Read the whole thing.
I don't know. I don't want. What if it's personal? Prom comes. Enjoy every moment of it, baby. I hope you've listened to all of my yelling and preaching and heard what I've said. And you may not like it nor understand it, but one day we'll be around to have brunch with your daughter. Something
with your daughter, and
daughter.
Maybe then you would thank me
and cry. And I'll always be here for you. That you can bet on. Have fun, be smart, and there's a time for everything. Take your time. See you tomorrow. Love, Mom. What? And she had packed my little overnight bag and stuff, and we were going out with a bunch of friends and stuff. Okay, so that was prom night. So then in my junior year, at the end of my junior year, she gave me this, and I had been admitted to this program for Pepperdine. So this is the inside again, with some handwriting. And so it says, send congratulations on the opportunity to attend the summer at Pepperdine. I'm proud of you, Sen, and I admire you in many ways, and have the best years, and you have the best years of your life ahead of you. And as the card says, any decision you make for yourself will be right. Please continue to achieve your goals in life. There is nothing you can't do. And it goes on. Oh, I didn't see this part. You're well on your way to be the very top. I pray that God will continue to guide you and keep you in good health. And it goes on. So I love you so much, Mom. So I had been admitted to this program. It was for leaders.
It's a beautiful campus.
Yeah, it's a beautiful campus. So we went, and I remember Dad driving me there in the little convertible car. Okay. Then let's see, what is this one? Oh, when I turned 18. Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay, so it says, I'm so excited for you.
That means I would have been 38.
Yes,
Wow.
I'm so excited for you. You're in college, not just college, but USC. I see the look in your eye when you talk about school, the excitement, the challenge, the determination that you speak with. I love it. And I just have one thing to say. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You said it twice, standing for what you believe in. You've got spirit, so don't lose it. Confidence, use it. Know that it is through God that we are able to know that we will succeed as long as we are determined to take the challenge with stride and believe in prayer. These are the best years of your life, a time to grow, learn, experience, and be independent. But above all, use your judgment. You make me smile. Feliz cumpleaños. Happy birthday, 18th birthday. So that was my freshman year in college, but my first birthday away from home. And as we said, Mom was going through her own troubles and finalizing the divorce. And yet she was still there to encourage me to keep going. So there you go. Oh my gosh. Okay. So do you remember USC graduation? It'd been years and Dad was remarried and I was super nervous about graduation. I thought you guys were going to act crazy, but you guys were perfectly fine. And it made for a really much better 4 years later. Do you remember USC graduation? Yeah. Why are you crying?
Because I hated that he was there.
Oh God, don't say that. My word.
But I was okay with it after you got to pray yourself through things. Yeah, I remember, and he was there with his new wife and everything. It was very stressful.
It was the beginning of a new chapter for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of new to see, But no, it was stressful, but it was a very happy evening. And I was very, very excited that, you graduated from college and you did all the things that I only thought of doing. So that makes me very proud.
Okay. So what would you say, what's the advice that you would give to a parent out there who doesn't know how to help their kid get into college?
First of all, it starts from way in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't want to if they don't know they want to go to school now, you can't just all of a sudden decide, oh, by the way, I think you should go to college. I think that it begins from, when you first start talking to them, when you start telling them about things and you say, when you go to college. And so by the time they get there, you've already spoken about it.
It's in their head.
Like you're going on a camping trip. When we go camping, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So as the time gets closer, they already in their head envision what it's going to be like to go camping. And so they may not have all the resources, what they're going to need when they camp or what they're going to do while they're camping, but they know they're going to be there. And like I said, ask questions, go to the counselor. The counselor gives you more referrals. You just have to stand behind your child and, believe in them and encourage them to believe in themselves, no matter how your life goes, because your life is your life. And no matter what happens, you stand by them and you let them know early on life. And money, I shouldn't say isn't a problem, but it should not be the obstacle that keeps you from encouraging your child from going to school.
Right.
Because if they really want it and they are a good student and they apply themselves to have good grades, there's a lot of financial aid out there that you may not know of that will, help you out in terms of financial aid. And
now they can listen to my podcast. There's a lot of information there.
Yes.
For every week there's over 50 episodes now. So there's a lot of information there. And you can go to my website. There's a lot of free information there as well. including courses that you can take as well. But tell them what they should do this week. This week, what should they do?
Oh, I think that after reading the letters, I think you would both agree, not only is it nice, for Sin to look at them and, reread them, but it's also nice for me to read them and, remind you where you were to appreciate where you're at. Because that was then, and a lot of things were happening. We never knew that we'd be where we are today. Thank God. So I think that you should always encourage your child to do the best, but I think you should also take the time to write it. And it doesn't have to be in a card. As you saw, I had cards and I still would write a letter in it. It doesn't have to be in a card. It could just be, just write, a letter to them. If, they missed their prom or their graduation, write them a letter about
Celebrate,
how, you feel, how proud you are, and, what's transpired and why you didn't have prom or graduation and stuff. And how many years later, Sin?
Yeah.
2 years later.
Too many years later.
You go back and you read it and you appreciate it and you're like, wow. And I was so bummed out that I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to this. And it's just beautiful words that you forget how you feel. You can't write what you feel next week about what you felt today. You could remember, you could have, I can't even remember from one to the next, but you need to write and express to your children, to your teenagers, to your kids. Every day. It doesn't have to be their birthday or Christmas or any celebration.
Right.
It could just be, because they threw out the trash today. I'm really proud of you.
I mean, there's plenty of a reason to write right now. We're all home, we're all together, and we're having this mandatory fun and stay at home, and spring break is, in the backyard. That's the biggest trip you take every day. But you're having feelings and you're seeing your teen go through, I mean, believe me, yes, there are bigger issues in the world, health issues in the world, but to them as a teenager, it's the end of their world. I mean, their identity is wrapped up in their group of friends, that what they were in school, that they were an actor, an actress, an athlete who's missing their season. They were the student body president. They were the junior class president. They were supposed to plan prom. Their identity is wrapped up in who they are and who they were at school. And they don't have that. So all you have now is to say to them, write it down, how proud you are of them, how courageous you see they're being, how helpful they're being in the kitchen or helping with the laundry or helping with their younger siblings. Write down and really thank them. Now, when I have private clients or some of my students, I ask the parents 3 questions. So you may want to use these 3 questions to guide your letter. I ask parents, what do you love most about your daughter or son? What do you love most about them? What are they really good at? What are they really good at? And what is your favorite memory? So if you want to take those 3 questions that I ask and write out a letter, just answering those questions, that's going to, first of all, you're going to find that you're going to write for a long time. You're going to write like my mom. She would write pages and pages of a letter. So answer those 3 questions. What do you love most about your kid? What are they really good at? And what is your favorite memory of all time? Put that down on paper if you do nothing else this week. And since we're all home, we have plenty of time to do this. You have nothing else to do. Okay, what are we going to do today? We've been quarantined long enough that we're getting to have, who's coming over today?
I get to have my grandchild today. My pumpkin pie, my curly, my string bean, my peanut head.
They've been tested. We've been quarantined. So
I get to see her today, and she gets to have a sleepover with me. So we're excited because we get to snuggle tonight because I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. And since I have to be out it's actually a medical, it's a hospital.
Yeah, it's a hospital.
So because I'll be out amongst all these germs, I then have to quarantine again
Back again.
14
so she
days
won't be able to see her. Yeah.
before I even see her through the window.
Yeah.
So today we're excited because she's coming over, spend the night with us. And Paul is cooking a great meal, some Italian dish. So we're gonna have a nice meal with garlic bread.
We've been keeping our circle very tight. I only see my mom. I see her on the weekends. And when I'm home, I don't really see anybody. I mean, I go for my runs and stay distant. So I've not been to the market for 5 weeks, I think. Oh, no. We went to Trader Joe's 3 weeks ago. That's really the last time I've been out. I think I need to go this week. So I might go out on Tuesday like you, and then we'll quarantine at the same time. So
we have ice cream, so we're good.
Oh, ice cream is good. But I've been gaining some weight, so I need to maybe go back to juicing. Okay, so write a letter, show your love, keep encouraging them. Education is the way out of whatever you're going through. Poverty, it's a way to change the trajectory of your family for sure. What do you love most? What is she or he really good at? And what is your favorite memory? Answer those 3 questions and write your answers this week. Okay.
And you know what? The kids could write their parents a letter too.
Yes.
Because it's through your parents, guys, that they guide you throughout your life. And now you're at graduation, about to be an adult and on your own. So let your parents know that you appreciate what they've done and that they too have been good parents, because just like you, we liked a little pat on our back too.
For sure. I don't know how many teens are watching this, but if you are, it's a great lesson. This week is National Volunteer Week. Also, Mom and I keep saying that we're going to
donate blood.
She's actually a pretty consistent donor.
Yes,
but she hasn't donated because just fear and wanting to be safe. But that's on our list to do.
And we're going to take some food to food banks.
Yes, we are. We're going to take some food to food banks.
Yes.
So anyway, it's National Volunteer Week. I would recommend projectgivingkids.org. Lots of different options, and especially for those of you who are in Los Angeles, San Francisco, or Boston, you can look up exactly what to do. So projectgivingkids.org is a great website that I recommend. For those of you who have college-bound teens, I'm offering a Jump Starter workshop that will walk you through all the things that my mom talked about: financial aid. Oh, she's going to check on that. Financial aid takes you through what teachers you're going to ask, gives you helps with your college list. So it really walks you through the process of what to do with this college application. Okay. So,
wherever you are, whatever you're doing, make sure that you are safe and you keep other people safe.
There you go. Be sure to wear a mask. We want you to be well and be safe and stay healthy. Stay healthy and stay inside as much as you can. And it shows, even if you're not worried about yourself getting sick, which you should be, it's respectful to wear a mask because other people who are putting their lives on the line, serving food, and the healthcare workers and all of these people that we saw yesterday when we went to drive through to pick up food.
So no shoes, no shirt, no mask,
no service.
No service.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're getting off on a little tangent here.
No tacos.
Okay. We've gone over. Thank you for your time and honoring us with being here today. And we're doing this live through Zoom. So I don't know if you had questions. I can't figure out how to see both at the same time. So I apologize. But if you do have questions, go ahead and put comments in there and I'll be sure to respond. But wherever you are, make sure you have a happy and
healthy
sunny day.
Congrats to all the grads.
Congratulations to the graduates.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.